If you're looking to discover the fastest formula for ending the crippling fear induced by agoraphobia, then this is going to be the most important video you've ever watched. Here, I'll be going over the symptoms and causes of agoraphobia, along with techniques you can implement immediately after watching to start making positive strides away from your panic. Help for agoraphobia starts here. Agoraphobia is the fear of open spaces or of being in crowded public places, such as shopping malls, grocery stores, train stations, restaurants, really anywhere that's out of your comfort zone. And by comfort zone, I mean a place that you're most relaxed in, like your home. The spectrum of agoraphobia is also very broad. There are extreme cases where a person will become dizzy the moment they step out the door. Also, many people are unable to drive due to this condition, and these cases can completely immobilize the agoraphobic. Maybe you can relate to some of these feelings. Fortunately, my level of agoraphobia wasn't to this extreme. It did, however, interfere with my day-to-day activities. My panic attacks in these open spaces, they were perpetual. And leaving the house, it was just miserable. Yet at the same time, I was afraid of the condition worsening if I kept myself locked in. Ironically, the thinking behind agoraphobia is one based on a feeling of isolation, despite being out in public. It's a feeling of all eyes on you. You feel separated from those who are, quote-unquote normal. It's a feeling of being exposed. When I'd walk out my door, I couldn't help but think, if a panic attack occurs, who's going to look after me? How will I get the assistance that I need? What will people think when I freak out in front of them? How will I get to a hospital if I pass out? How will I get home if I feel too anxious to drive? These questions would just run through my head, and the emotional roller coaster, it would spin round and round until I decided that going out, it just wasn't worth the worry. Also, my feelings of vulnerability, they would escalate the farther away I got from my home. Similar to my regular routine of panic attacks, the anticipation of panic outside the home led me to have the attacks. This cycle of anxiety, it enforced my agoraphobic tendencies, and the fear of leaving my house began to really take hold a majority of the time. Sure, I would force myself to go to the occasional party or event. However, my time away from home, it was always laced with anxiety, and I could never fully relax. In my experience working with agoraphobia sufferers, I've encountered victims, and that's what they really are, who have been housebound for numerous years. If you suffer from agoraphobia, there's good news. There is hope. And whether you've suffered from this condition for months or years, this is by no means a hopeless situation. It doesn't matter if you haven't driven a car lately due to the condition. I don't care how impossible you think your condition is. You will get over it. You're going to conquer this anxiety and start enjoying the world around you again. And I'm saying this all from personal experience. My battle overcoming agoraphobia, it was long, but I did it. And by no means was it easy, but you can do it too. So, one of the first things I want to tell you is, you need to find confidence in your safety anywhere. And what I mean by that is, to start with, you need to work on challenging your thinking in terms of what is and what is not a comfort or a safe zone. Most agoraphobics believe that their home is their safe zone. They know it well, and the truth is, anywhere, you're equally safe. The anxiety in your mind is the only thing that distinguishes a place as bad or good, fun or miserable, happy or sad. Controlling the anxiety will change your perspective on the world around you, and you will see all places as being equally comfortable. When superstition does take hold, your mind will come up with reasons why it believes only a certain area is safe and another is not. And those reasons range from being near the phone or people you trust to having familiar physical surroundings to reassure you. The reality of anxiety is that there's no such thing as a safe zone. There's nothing life-threatening about a panic attack, and therefore sitting at home is the same as sitting under the stars on a deserted island. Of course, your mind will immediately rush to tell you that a deserted island is completely dangerous. It's a dangerous place to be because there's no hospitals, there's no tranquilizers, there's no doctors, there's no safety net. And I want you to take a moment to think about your previous experiences with panic attacks. Aren't you still here, alive and well? After all those attacks during which you were convinced you were going to die. The bottom line is, a panic attack will never kill you. You are healthy and you will live a long, happy life. This moment, while you're watching this video, it's a great time to meditate on this belief. You cannot make rational decisions when you feel overly anxious. Take the time, right this moment, while you feel a bit calmer, to understand that there's a 99.9% chance you will live a long, healthy life and nothing bad will happen to you. Now, I know that can be a hard concept to grasp. If relying on statistics is any comfort to you, know that the odds are completely in your favor to live a long life. That means if you spend your days worrying about random incidents and accidents and happenings that will interfere with your health, you're just wasting your thoughts. The fact is, you'll be fine. And I say that confidently, knowing that freak accidents happen to far and few between. Now, sure, you've heard a story from a friend or a friend of a friend of a friend. Don't focus on the minority of things. If the news is freaking you out, stop watching the news, Focus on the fact that a majority of the population will live a long, long time. And life expectancies are growing every day with new breakthroughs in medicine and science. The truth is, you'll be around for quite some time and nothing bad will happen to you. So focus on the positive and show gratitude. Thank the universe for bringing you this far and be grateful for the health that you do have now. There are people out in the world with real medical issues. Have gratitude that you are physically healthy, and yes, I'll say it, you are lucky. Believe this with all your heart. I want you to throw out all superstition. And this can be hard to do, and I don't mean to sound harsh or abrasive here. I know firsthand the terror that you're going through. And the point of this video isn't to give you some kind of lecture or guilt trip. Certainly there's nothing to feel guilty about. And I don't want to criticize your thought process because I've been there too. And my point is to help you see through the myths that our minds can so easily create. Let me give you a little example. At 26, I used to fear relentlessly that I would have a heart attack. I would get anxious just saying the thought out loud. And the truth was, I was exercising regularly, I was eating well, I had excellent feedback on my physicals from my doctors every year. I had healthy parents, I have healthy parents, in their late 50s, and they've never had heart problems. Even though all logic told me otherwise, my anxiety convinced me that I had heart problems. Now obviously I know, now that I know I'm thinking differently, I'm much more relaxed about my health. I'm giving you this example to illustrate how easily our minds can build prison walls around our logic. Without sensibility, it's hard to enjoy yourself anywhere that doesn't fit into your anxiety's made-up rule system. It's like living your life according to superstition, and there's no sense to it, and it's only going to drive you crazy. So throw superstition out the window. There's never ever been any evidence to back any superstition, and that's why it's called superstition. So work on that, and work on, stop knocking on wood and whatever superstitious or obsessive compulsive habits you're engaging in. I want you to learn patience. Patience is a virtue. You've heard the expression over and over, but have you started practicing it yet? I know it can be hard to find patience. You feel stressed and anxious, and you just want to feel calm right now. Anxiety can make you feel rushed and unsure. Practicing patience is a way to gain control over your panic. And I'm not just talking about having patience with your anxiety. It's important for you to learn to have patience for others. If an individual, such as a partner or a family member, has not had a similar anxiety issue, that person may often find it hard to understand and empathize with what you're going through. They just can't relate. It's not their fault. I'm sure you've been dragged out of the house numerous times, maybe against your will, kicking and screaming, or just, feeling miserable about it. And this can lead to tensions and arguments and is upsetting. And it can make you feel less understood by those around you. People around agoraphobics are often simply trying what they feel is best. They don't understand the feeling, and it's completely not their fault. If you can see that their intentions are well-meaning, although often misguided, then you will be able to relate to them better and help soothe any potential conflicts. No one is out to get you. Believe this. Know that paranoia in the company of others is all in your head. Truth be told, people are way more concerned about themselves than your own actions. So find confidence in knowing that everyone is looking for the same acceptance, and take comfort that we are all just human and we only want happiness for one another. Love everyone you meet. Help and do right by everyone you meet. If along the way you meet someone or you meet some people who don't love you back, that's okay. The love you have for them is yours. And it's yours just as every experience you have is yours. So savor every feeling and experience as a different flavor of life, and think positively. Now, let's talk about taking the next step. There is one thing I'm sure you're going to agree with, and that is that the only person who will get you out of agoraphobic thinking is yourself. No one's going to save you, unfortunately. You need to save yourself. These are your thoughts, and only you can begin to change that pattern. Dealing with long-term agoraphobia, and panic attacks, it's a slow process to begin with. But once the results start happening, it moves faster and faster until you reach a point where you'll find it hard to believe that going out was such a difficult task. Taking the next step begins with having a game plan for exactly how to deal with your panic and anxiety when it takes hold. And I've outlined that for you completely for free on my website, and you can check it out at www.stop-anxiety-panic-attack.com. And on the site you can watch the complete step-by-step video that shows you 21 anxiety fighting tactics completely for free. So go to the site right now, watch the video, and start feeling better really in just minutes. I hope this was helpful, guys. Have a great day.